All right, so welcome to our discussion of the syllabus for Science Diplomacy 5001. As promised, I'm going to go through and walk through the syllabus kind of step by step. Please go to Canvas. Please look at the tab in the class that says Syllabus. I've cut and pasted the syllabus there, but I also have updated the attached Word document. So I would ask you, please download and look at the Word document because I took the time to actually highlight the text that's changed. So I've got it up on my big screen here, so you see my eyes go back and forth. It's because I'm looking at the screen while I'm trying to record this video so that we're on the same page. So please bring up the Word document. Let's talk through it together. You'll notice at the very beginning of the first page, it says updated as of March 18th, 2020. Nothing's changed in terms of the course title, nothing's changed in terms of the course credit, but you'll notice there that I've scratched out where it says lecture 3 credit hours, Tuesday, Thursday, the library, because we're obviously not having this class on campus, so it's still 3 credit hours, it's still 3 credit hours of lecture, there's no lab, but we're doing everything essentially online, so we know about that. Course description stays the same. The text stays the same. Supplementary material stays the same. So now I'm at the top of page 2. Learning objectives stay the same. Grading. Now here's where we've got a little bit of a change, right? A few things that are different here. First of all, when are the assignments due? Now, I have eliminated the requirement to have the assignment done by the date on the syllabus. In other words, you're not going to fail the class for not turning in a required assignment by the date. But here is the practical thing. If you don't get the work done by the end of the semester, I can't give you a grade. At best, I could give you an incomplete. So yes, there's still the possibility to quote unquote fail the class by not doing any of the work. So I've changed the text. It says required exercises must be successfully completed before the end of the semester to get a grade of C. Now, note here I've also changed one thing. You can skip a required exercise, no problem. Before I referred to it as miss, but since the deadlines are removed, it doesn't really mean it's a miss anymore. It's really a skip. Now, I realize you might suddenly get sick yourself, have somebody sick in your family, have somebody sick that's a neighbor that you're taking care of. So work with me. If I don't hear from you for a week or two because you can't get on email, I'm going to be accommodating of that. So don't freak out. Realize that worst case scenario, you'll get an incomplete at the end of the semester and we'll work through these things together. So there's no reason to be anxious over this, but let's try to stick to the schedule as much as possible because your other classes are going to back up on top of you as well. So let's think about kind of the life hacks from the discussion board. Keeping a schedule super important. So carve some time out, make some progress on all your classes, including this one. Grading. Now here's the thing that's a little bit different. We now have 50 points above the 70. So you now actually have 120 points. You only have to get 89.5 to get an A. All the same stuff's there. The Model UN exercise, the fellowship application, the term policy analysis, all that stuff's still there. The pachachkas are still there. The required assignments are there. But what's new is now this discussion board. We've been running it for this past week. I'm posting a little YouTube video every day. I give a little discussion board exercise every day. Folks in this class have been fantastic about participating. It's a pretty straightforward way to stay engaged, stay connected, and add some points to your bottom line. So most of you are in this space of completing this. Thumbs up. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So there's some extra points that you can earn. Those are not required. Those are optional. And they just help you get a higher grade more quickly, but also stay engaged. Now, that's going on this week. It is also going to go on optional during the spring break week. So I want people to be able to stay connected and stay engaged. So optional during spring break week, there'll continue to be a discussion board. Now I'm scrolling down through the page. Some things are changing. If I get down to near the second half of page 3 of the syllabus, now here's where some stuff seems a little bit different, right? Now, first of all, I've scratched out where it says no credit is given for late or missed assignments and that there's non-negotiable deadlines, right? I've removed that miss a required, fail the class. I still got to have this stuff done before the end of the semester to be able to give you a grade. And that only makes sense, right? I can't assign a grade if you haven't done the work. So what I would ask you to do, you notice you can't not scratch your face, isn't it? You just got to find the right way to do it. What I'd ask you to do is stick with me, communicate if you've got some problems, and do try to get stuff done so that we can make reasonable progress working through this together. Here's some new material, right, that's here in red. Tells you how to, exams, right? I'll do the exams the way they're on the course calendar. We only have the final here. I'll email the exam to you if you want to take it. What I'm asking you is to have a parent, a spouse, a neighbor, a child, not necessarily a 2-year-old child, maybe the 10-year-old child, right? But somebody else take a peek and make sure that you're doing the exam the right way. In other words, that you got your books put away, etc. I'll email the exams to folks as PDFs. You can print them and work on them and then rescan them as a PDF. You can work on them on a PDF on your laptop. If you're the kind of person that's been given special permission to have an hour or an hour and a half or double time to work on an exam, by all means, take that time. If you're supposed to just be doing normal time, then take normal time. Hold yourself accountable. I'm asking you to come up with somebody to help be a proctor for your test and to ask them to sign off that, yes, I've been a proctor for this test. Can people cheat with that? Yep, absolutely. I'm hoping that they won't. I'm expecting people to be honest. I still have a policy that if I catch you cheating, you fail the class. But let's be realistic. I'm not going to try to work through this whole, like, how do we do the proctor test thing? Because we've got so many points that aren't in the test space. It makes sense to give people some flexibility here. Homeworks. Please make sure that you send them as an attached PDF. It's a pain to have to read like JPEG images. So if you don't have a PDF printer, get the app on your phone. There's millions of different little pieces of software out there that take the JPEG that you take with your phone, the picture, and convert it over to a PDF. So do that before you send an email to me. Make a PDF. Please, 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 please name your PDF with something that makes sense, like your family name, the course number, the unit, and the particular assignment. I'm already getting emails from people where it's like, here's my lab report. Okay, who are you? What course is it for? Which lab report? And I go to open the attachment and it says lab report. I'm like, okay, are you hoping that I lose this? Just go over the top with name, course number, what unit, what the assignment is. Make it easy for the instructors to try to be able to sort this stuff. The TAs, the faculty, we're going to do our best to grade this stuff. Some people might use Dropboxes. Some people might use online submissions. Some people might use emails with PDFs. Make your file names just painfully obvious, and you'll save yourself some hassle. Pachacucha presentations, or Pachachka presentations, as we should really call it. Do those, but you can do those as voice over PowerPoint and email me a link from a drop file, some kind of Dropbox way of disseminating it. You could take a YouTube video of yourself. So like you could, pull up your slides on your laptop and you could then YouTube video yourself with your iPhone or your Google phone, and you could then send me a link to the YouTube video so you could kind of go back and forth a little bit, 20 seconds of yourself, a little bit of your screen, right? Use your creativity and your wisdom. But if you're going to do the Pachachkas, please send the links to me, or please, probably the attached files aren't going to work because they're going to be too large. But sending a link to something that I can look at up in the cloud, that's the way to do it. Now we're at the top of page 4. S&T Connect, academic dishonesty, those things say the same. You cheat, you fail. So that's, okay, that all makes sense. S&T Connect and Title IX all stays the same. Now we're on to page 5. So we look at the accessibility. That stuff stays the same. Here's where things become a little bit different. We don't have to worry about classroom egress. We don't have to worry about learning enhancement and student success center because that stuff's kind of changed up. It's in fluid space. They're trying to make the best of it they can, but that's the space that we're in. So what I'm going to ask you to do is remember there is still an additional contact person, the department chair, Joel Birkin, if you have a problem. But now we're moving into page 6 where we've actually got the updated course schedule. I'm looking at the table. So this is 3 columns. Column 1 is weeks. Column 2 is the Tuesday lectures. Column 3 is the Thursday lectures. As I scroll down and I get to the bottom of page 6, that's where we start to have some changes. So you'll see these things that are in red. This is the new updated stuff, right? Now, this week we're having the optional discussion board. So that goes on this week. Next week is spring break, and I'll keep running the optional discussion board. So week 10, you can still get more points with the optional discussion board. Week 11 is where it becomes a little bit weird, right? So week 11 is essentially where we've slid the schedule back. Unit 4 is due on the 31st. On the 2nd, that Thursday, that's when you need to have sent in your optional pachachkas. That's where you also need to email me your country and committee charts and your 1,000-word paper. These are for the mock UN. The following week, the 7th and the 9th, we will use some online technology to be able to do our UN negotiation. So we will still have those optional negotiations. We'll still give feedback to each other on the 7th and the 9th. The 14th will then be the next Unit 5 due, the 16th being optional pachachkas. The 21st, Unit 6 is due. The 23rd, Unit 9 draft policy analysis due. So all that's happened is we've slid stuff back by about a week. Everything's going to stay the same. Fortunately, since we have already kind of a distance classroom, there's already the infrastructure to be able to support that. This stuff is also changing. It's in kind of a fluid space. So they had talked about us being able to kind of teach our class in in our normal rooms with distance. That's already modifying a little bit because now there's not going to be the producer there, and so then I'm saying like, well, then who's going to disinfect the microphone? Because I don't want to go put the gross microphone from one person to the next on. So hang with us. I'm going to try to be in the space of using the technology that I know is robust and works, right? Like a 10-minute YouTube video seems to always get through. An hour-long recorded lecture might get hung up somewhere in the cloud. There's already some reports of some of these Zoom meetings happening in real time, but like losing the recordings. So, I'm an engineer, so I do very practical things. If I can make it work with low tech and get the job done, that's what I'm going to do. So I will continue to have opportunities for us to engage. We will definitely do the oral negotiation for the UN, the mock UN, but I'm going to find the way to make that work, whether it's just picking up our phone and all being on a conference call or whether that's all being able to see each other. We'll definitely do the exercise. We'll do it the best we can. Believe it or not, the United Nations has managed to have major negotiations via telephone. We haven't always had video technology, and somehow that's managed to work. So face-to-face is best, but there's lots of different ways to interact. Otherwise, everything else on the syllabus essentially remains the same. You're already settled into the pattern. You already know what we're going to do. I'm going to stick with the same stuff. So if you're already sitting there kind of like, I've done the optional discussion board, I'm pretty much at my A, do the required stuff that you need to do for Unit 4 and 5 and 6. Continue to read, continue to engage with the material, knock out the required activities, and wrap up the class that way. I'll still be here. I'm still engaged. I'm still interested in working with you. I've really enjoyed people getting on the discussion board. Major thumbs up. So proud of all the sharing that's gone on there. Now you can see why the Think, Pair, Share turns out to be a powerful thing. It's like this. It's like what we've been doing was set up for this new normal. So hang with me. If you've got questions on this discussion, if you got questions on the updated syllabus, give me a shout. Happy to answer and explain them. Have a great day.